Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zulfiqar Ali, and I'm the founding board member of Islamic Art Society. I'm also the director of calligraphy for the society. Islam has a lot of rich culture, and we want to bring that culture to the community here. We also believe that art transcends all the boundaries, and that way it can bring community together and also mutual understanding between different communities. Today, I have one of the master calligrapher, Munther Yousef, with us. He will show us how to do Naskh calligraphy. As you know, there are many fonts: Naskh, Kufik, Diwani, Sulas, and Nastal. Many other fonts. But today we'll focus on Naskh. So it's my honor to introduce to Munther Yousef. How are you doing this morning?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here. I'm glad to be able to participate and deliver a good message to the people here during this pandemic. So hopefully, inshallah, we'll be doing some calligraphy, show you how to do Naskh calligraphy. But I'll give you a little bit background about myself. So my name is Munther Yousef. I came to the States in about 2001. I'll tell you a little bit about my journey with calligraphy. So I learned calligraphy when I was about 5 years old, and I came to learn that because I was born in Algeria, and because of the French influence, they wanted to bring the Arabic language back to the people. So one of our classes actually on first grade was to use a feather and ink and write Arabic fonts. Yeah, so that got me really attached to calligraphy, and my dad noticed that, and he started bringing me books and tools, and I picked that up. So at the beginning it was a hobby, but then when I moved to Jordan, my cousin actually happened to be a calligrapher, and he was teaching calligraphy at University of Houston. So I got influenced and inspired by him. So I did work with him. I took all the classes in the university to learn all the fonts. I got really interested into it, and we did also some side work. It was always my second work. I used to do signs, printing, so I kept in touch with the calligraphy at that point.
So it's not your profession, but it's your hobby. So
Yes.
By profession, what do you do?
So no, I work with the oil and gas company software. That's my background is IT and chemistry, but calligraphy, it's one of the arts that people can pick. If you have a hobby, one of the hobbies could be music, could be art. So it just happened that I really liked. I got into the calligraphy, and I spend the time with it, and it's really beautiful. So I encourage people to take a look and start learning. Don't be discouraged, because you will learn it. It takes some time, but you will learn it. Yes.
All right. So what they can expect at the end of this calligraphy session? Because I know it takes a long time if you really want to perfect it. And a lot of people don't have that much time.
Sure.
So, but I noticed that you learned it. Now you are teaching it, and you have a job as well as a family, and then also passion for this one. Can people start any time?
Yes.
At any time, or
Definitely, people can start at any time in their life. That it's the sooner you start is probably the better, but don't force it on the kids, for example. But it's good to introduce it to them. I have students who are really young, but if they like it, they will latch into it, and it will grow with them. But the good thing, so there is different when you learn it on your own. It takes you longer to learn the techniques. So if you have a chance to actually participate in a class, that will speed it up. That's my recommendation. So here I can hopefully in this hour, I know it's short time, but I can probably point you to the techniques and to the basic rules of calligraphy. And if you start with those, you build on this foundation, and hopefully you can add up to it and get to the level that you want it.
All right. Don't forget to check out our Facebook, Islamic Art Society Facebook. We will always have a lot of information coming there about the classes, about the festival, about the library events. So please keep in touch. Yes. Thank you.
Another thing I want to add, what we're going to show today is actually we're going to write some individual letters. Then we're going to move to connecting a few two alphabets. Then maybe we actually write a full word. So if I can show you this, guys, for example, this is the alphabets here. We're going to be talking about different alphabets, showing you how it looks at the beginning, at the end, in the middle of the letter. Then at the end of, we can show you how to write, for example, inshallah. When you look at it at the beginning, oh, it's a little difficult, but I will walk you step by step how to write it and how to balance it. So just join us and bring your pen and just use the best of your time. Thank you.
All right.
See you
Here
then.
we go for the class now. Thank you. Again, the class in the beginning we will be doing, calligraphy, but at the end, at the end we will entertain all of those ones. But in the meantime, if you have any question, feel free to text it. Thank you.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thanks for the introduction, brother. I'm glad that we're able to do something during this pandemic, so nothing will stop us, inshallah. So today we're trying to record this class, and hopefully many people will be able to rewind it again and look at it again. I'll do my best to illustrate as much time permits about the Naskh calligraphy. Of course, 1 hour is probably not enough, but I'll try to get you guys as much as possible. But the most important thing is that you need to take it up on your own and start looking at scripts and watch videos on YouTube, and it will teach you a lot. This is how people teach you. Okay, so without further ado, so if you are a beginner for calligraphy, I just want to give you a quick introduction to the tools that we use. So usually the basic tools or the original tools that people do, the calligraphers do calligraphy with, are the bamboos. And the bamboos, it's a little hard to work with, but it gives you really nice curves and ends. And you have to use an ink with that. So this is the Inkwell, and it has something called leca, so it doesn't absorb too much ink and it doesn't smudge the paper. The paper that you need to use, it's prefer that you have something glossy paper to write on. So this could be used for printing. This you could buy this from Home Depot, printing paper, as long as it's glossy, so it doesn't the ink will not smudge on it. And what other tools? There's also some pens for practice. You can buy those pens that brother will show us some, but there are some that you can find in Hobby Lobby or the market, which is 3 millimeters, and those are actually cut, and they will be chisel tip, just like the bamboo. For example, this 3 millimeter here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is a chisel tip, so it would give you the chance to do some nice corners. Unlike the American or the English calligraphy, I will zoom in here again, please, on the bamboo. So if I just put it here, see, it's cut 45 degrees. The English calligraphy will be straight, so that will give you a little bit more flexibility with the angles, because we have too many angles in the Arabic calligraphy. Okay, so those are the tools, and let's get started. So the first thing if you're doing any kind of scripts, it's better to have a line to go on, so your writing is going straight, and people can see it balanced, because at the end you want your work to look balanced and nice when you look at it from far away. So we're going to start with just a simple line in the middle of the page or the top. Then the other thing I want to talk about is, so we need another guidance for the length of the alphabets, and there are rules for each font. So for the Naskh font, for example, I'll show you guys here some rules. If we can zoom in a little bit, then see, for example, the alifs. If we can zoom in a little bit, the alif and the ba, and each font will.
Maybe you can write it, show it on the.
Yeah, I will show it, but I'm just showing it here. That I will write it, but technically, you need some guidance for the length of the letters. So the extension of the alif, for example, will need 5 dots, and the dots are determined by the thickness of the pen that you're using. So let's try this. So I'm gonna use this bamboo, and this bamboo actually will tell me. So I'm gonna start with the dots, so because this is gonna be my guidance. So this is how I'm gonna put 5 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is the highest of the alif. And again, it is decided by the thickness of the bamboo. If you have a wider pen, then this alif will be longer because the dots on top of each other will take more space. So now if I want to write an alif, for example, for those who know calligraphy, you know you need to hold the pen on 45 degrees always. So this is my 45 degrees. Then the alif will look like this. This is the highest that I'm going to start with. Then it will go a little bit tilted, and towards the end it will be a little bit thin. So if I do line like here and a line from here, so you will see that it actually shifted a little bit to the right, and towards the end there's a little space here. So those are the measurement for the alif, and this is the single alif at the beginning of any word. Now if alif is connected with another letter, for example, let's say that it's connected with the ba. So this is my ba. Then when I go up, see, it takes, sometimes we make this little bit extension in the naskh. So here my ba is 2 dots, 2 dots and a half maybe, and the extension here again is still the 5 dots, the height. Here I have 2 dots in the middle. Okay, now let me show you the alif with the lam, for example. So let's say that we have a ba, we have lam alif here. See how we curved a little bit to the left. Then from here we're going to go down and we touch the line, and this is the lam alif. This is how it looks like, the lam alif. You start with this shape, then you close it like that. So, and if you notice here, the lam alif here is a little lower than the alif at the end. And here we have about 2 dots space in between. All right, so this is the alif and the ba. Just remember, guys, if I want to show you the dot as well, this is the ba for the dot. And for the 2 dots for the naskh, specifically for the naskh, you need to separate them a little bit. And this comes with practice. So the next dot is not exactly next to it. It needs to be a little bit farther. Then you just connect them with a little line. That's the beauty of naskh, just to make it look a little bit different. Okay, let's move to another letter. Let's do the ba. So we introduced the beginning of the ba here, so you have to do about 2 dots. And now we get into how the shape of the letter looks like depending on the following letter. So if I have a letter that's going up high after the ba, for example, I have a dal. So this is the ba. It's going to be 2 dots high. And this is the dal. Okay. So here, this is called the high ba, because the next letter was going up. It's a high letter. So let's see how it looks like, the ba looks like if we have a letter that is going down. For example, ra. So then the ba looks like this, and this is the ra. See how with naskh you need to be able to do a full turn and control on with the bamboo to give you that nice fine edge. So here the ba and the second one was really thin at the beginning, and it was only 1 dot high. Okay, let's do another line high over the line. Then about 4 below the line. And you guys need to pay attention to the letters that goes above the line or below the line. Those are the rules that we need to follow. So here, let's start with the Jim. We said we need to go about 3 dots high. So you start from here. The Jim usually started with a dot like this. Then you need to go through the dot. So the extension of the Jim here, like we said, about 3 dots, 4 to 5. Then you're gonna go back here halfway. And this is the close. And this is the end. So if you look here, if we drop a straight line from here and a straight line from here, so these will be aligned, but the end of the ha or the kha will go about a dot or dot and a half out. So this is the individual kha. Let's see how it looks like when it's connected. So again, it follows the same rule that we talked about the ba. Depending on the following letter, if the letter is going up, the shape of the Jim will look different than if the letter was going down. So for example, if we're gonna do ha alif, we call it the closing kha or Jim. So this is what closes the Jim. Then we're gonna go like this. And you see, you have to be really patient when you're doing the strokes, so you're actually getting the full extension of the pen. So this is the Jim when it's followed by a letter that's going high. So let's see when it follows a letter that's going down. For example, this time let's do the meme. So this is the ha. See, notice that it's open. I did not close it because the following letter is actually going down. So here's the meme, and watch the meme. So the beauty about Naskh is sometimes that you have to write with 2/3 of the pen. So that means that the pen is not fully touching the page and you're not getting the full thickness. So watch this. If I'm gonna do it here on the side, the meme, while I'm doing it with the full thickness of the pen, which is not recommended. See? So now I'm doing the meme. I'm putting the full pen like it, all the thickness. So the meme looks nice here, but in Naskh sometimes they want this part and this part to look a little smaller and smoother. So watch here. I'm using 2/3 of the pen. See how a meme looks like? And some parts you will notice that you're actually drawing the letter. That's something about calligraphy, because in Islam drawing is not prohibited. So all the focus was on calligraphy, and calligraphy become an art. So it's actually drawing. You're drawing the letters. You're making the letter look beautiful, and it's rhyming with the other letters. So this is how the meme looks like in the finished product. It looks a little thinner than the one that we looked here. That's very angled. Okay, so this is another letter. Let's see how much time we have. Let's talk about, for example, we can talk about the ain. Here, so let's put, again, we start with lines. Don't forget to put the lines. And towards the end, I'll show you, actually, it will be smarter if you can put a line at the bottom and a line at the top, because once you start adding the accents, then your writing will be balanced into between 2 lines. So here, let's do the harf ain. Let's do the ain at the beginning of the letter. Then we'll do it in the middle and at the end. So start with this shape. And now we're going back to the drawing point that we talked about. So now some parts you have to draw with the tip of the pen to get the angle and the shape that we're looking for. So that's the ayn at the beginning. And if you do the measurements again, so it's about 3 dots high, and it's about 2 dots length. And notice here, that, see, this is the line that is actually going up a 1 dot. So let's look at the ayn in the middle of the letter. For example, we can write ba'in. So that's the ba. And because the following letter is going up, so that's why we use this ba instead of the small one. So now the ayn here is closed. So we went this way. Now you go back, close it, then you go out. Use an alif also after. Notice how I go with the alif. You can go out this way to the left, or you can go straight and give it that accent to the right. So towards the end, let's do it with meme, for example. So the shape from the top looks like the middle one here. And now the finish at the bottom, it looks like the gene that we just did. So it will go and pass that here for about 1.5 dots. Okay. Okay, let's look at another letter. Hopefully I'm not going too fast, guys.
No, I think you're good.
Okay, all right. And for practice, so I'm showing you guys the techniques and the details. But once you practicing, actually pay attention to where you start writing the ayn. For example, when we wrote the ayn, we started from the left, then the bottom side, then we did the top side. Left here, then did the bottom, then we finished up the top side. So that's how the beginning of the ayn is. And you will see some other letters, actually, you'll be surprised. Some letters will be finished. You might finish letters with the word first, then you go back and finish the second letter, for example. And I'll show you how that's when it's connected. Okay, so let's do the fa and the qaf. See how it looks like. And the beginning of the fa and qaf and waw actually is the same. It's the same circle that we're doing here. Okay, so we did our line, and it's about 3 dots high. So you start from here. You could stop here if you want, just to measure your work. So this is how the pen moved from this angle and up. Then this is how you go down and you close it. And I'll show you some calligraphers, actually, if you look at the Naskh font, not the one that's in the books, but if you see like an artwork, what they do to the fa and waw is this. So I do the fa like that, then they go back and they close it halfway. See? So this is the fa at the beginning. Now look in the middle. See, we went this way, then we did a sharp turn that way. Then this is the close. Let's say that it's followed by a ya or ta. Then let's see how it looks at the end. So this shape will look exactly like the one in the middle. Then imagine when we did the ba, we did this side, so it's a ba. So this movement is actually the ba letter, but we added the fa here, we added this shape and made it a fa. And if you want to do a qaf again, the two dots are not too close to each other, then you just link them with a dash. Okay, and on the qaf, let me show you also how the qaf looks at the end of the letter, or if it was individual. For example, qaf like that. Look at the beauty of calligraphy. So this is the fa, the beginning of the fa. Now I'm going to do it with a different color to show you. I'm going to write a noon, and that will actually make the fa for me. So this will teach you two letters in one. So this is a noon. So if you do the noon, then you close it with that qaf shape, then you got a qaf. And last thing is that looks for here is the wow. It has the same shape. Then you finish like the ra, because this part is actually a ra. Then you're closing it like that. And to make it nice, you could do that very fine. All right, let's look at other letters. So, okay, let's do some, the sad and the sin. Okay, let's start with the sin. See how it looks like at the beginning, the middle, and at the end. Because you know, sin and sheen are the same letters. So the beginning of the sin, it looks like the ba letter, but a little smaller though. Then about one dot. Then the second part of the sin, this part is a little longer. See how we did an extension? Then you finish it up with a noon. And see how, I think you guys can see the line, but this is the line. This is the individual scene. This is the scene in the middle. If there is two scenes that's separated by a ba or ya, for example, see the ba or the ya goes a little higher here. Then we go again to the next scene. And let's finish with a wow example. Okay, so if you just want to do the measurements here, so this is about 2.5, this is 1 nuqta, and those are 2 nuqtas. So guys, the dots are very, very important for measurements, because if you extend a letter more than it's supposed to, then it would look off. Okay, let's look at the sad. Sad has some interesting movements here. And by the way, guys, if you practice nasikh, it is your key to the next hard font, which is thuluth. So usually people that want to write thuluth, they have to actually practice and master nasikh before you move into the thuluth, because thuluth has a little bit longer extensions, but it's the same base of the nasikh levels. And there is also a combination of nasikh and thuluth. It's called ijaza, and that's actually one of the fonts that the calligraphers get tested on, and when they practice, when they compete, that's one of the fonts that they get to compete with, because you're using 2 fonts following all the rules to show your skills and capabilities. So just a reminder again, if you want to do the thulth, it's better to practice and master the naskh first, then you move to the thulth. Okay, so let's look at another letter. We said we're going to talk about the sad. So we have our line here. So you start with a 45 degrees. Then there's a little curve here. And it's good to show the angle. In the thuluth, for example, this angle will be smoother. It's going to look more like a curve. But in the naskh, you have to show the angle. So these are the small differences that I'm pointing out. Once you guys become masters in calligraphy or you get deep into it, you will know and see what I'm talking about. Because at the beginning, we will be looking like, general look over the calligraphy. But once you get into it and you start practicing it, then you will see the small differences and the tiny differences. So this is the sad at the beginning. Let's see the sad in the middle. But actually, let's do a ta, so I can show you guys how the ta looks like. See, this is the end of the ta. Then you go back here and put that small extension down. Then the alif will be smaller than the regular alif, so it's not 5 dots because it's coming on the top of the letter, so it's about 4 dots here. But if you want to see the measurements for the sad, so this extension here is about 3 dots, and this one is about 2 dots, and you're going only half a dot above the line. But this space is also 1 dot. Okay. Let's see the finish of the sad at the end. So this is the sad at the end of the letter, or if it's individual. See, we had about half a dot above the line. Now the extension here should be about 3 dots. And you come just touch the line here. Notice, guys, that the finish of the sad doesn't go to the same level of the beginning here. We have about 1.5 dots difference here. And the extension of the sad internally is about 3 dots. All these measurements is very, very important. Otherwise, if I write the sad a little bit longer and the ayn or the fa small, then the word would not look balanced to the eye. So that's one of the things that in the calligraphy competition, they actually focus on.
Yeah, I will also add to this that if you have any question, you can post those through this chat on the Zoom, and I will pass that on to Munther Yousef. But we will also have an open question answer session for last 10-15 minutes. So the way it is that Munther will teach you alphabets and the word combination, and also he will showcase one of a phrase or anything like that to show you how it's written by a master calligrapher. And in the meantime, if you have any question, please feel free to use those in the chat. Thank you.
All right, thank you, brother. All right, so I think we have some time to do
we have
a little bit more fonts.
Yeah, we have. I think we can keep on going maybe for
the
next 15 minutes
Okay.
with the fonts.
All right, so the next, we have another 15 minutes to explain more alphabets. Then we can move to some practice. All right, so let's look at, so we did the sad, that would cover the sad, dot, fa. Let's talk about the kaf. Okay, kaf is interesting here too. Kaf is actually one of the letters that distinguish the naskh because you can do different shapes with it. Some of it will be short, some will be long. So let's talk and cover about those. So let's talk about the short kaf at the beginning. Let's say that if a kaf is followed by an alif. That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. All right. Let's say if a kaf is followed by alif, so it's recommended that you do the short version of the kaf. That will be that extension here. Then you go up. Then you close it up with this movement. So here, let's put the measurements. So from inside, it's about 2 dots. And here it's about 4 dots high. So it's, or 3.5 actually. It's a little bit high, passing the length of the alif. Length of the alif is 5, as we said. So 3.5 will be used for the extension of the kaf, for that curve. Now this, you could do, it's recommended to go from 6 to 7 dots length. So that's the extension for it. Okay, now let's look at the long kaf, which, like I said, it's one of the beautiful letters in Naskh. So see how you start from here, and you have to kind of measure how many dots you need to leave. So the extension for this is again about 7. Let's see. And writing with a bamboo, guys, you will notice that it's not as smooth as writing with a pen, because you have to continuously dip in the ink. So see how I just want to show you guys, if I do a kaf with the alif, the long version, it doesn't look that nice. So that one looks nicer. Now the long kaf looks better with a letter that's going down, like the that ra, for example. See how that movement here wasn't straight? And same here, we did a little dip. Then this is the ra. Then you finish it up with the top part, like that. Let me put the extensions here. So this is, we said, about 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dots. I'm trying to show 2 different colors so it'll be easier for guys to watch and follow, but this one got smudged. Okay, so that's the kaf. Let's talk about the meme. So the meme have very different shapes, depends on where it falls in the word. If it's at the beginning, some of it will be open, some of it could be closed. In the middle, we can do open and close as well, and at the end, we can do open and close. Meme is really, really flexible. So I'm gonna write a series of M, letter meme, so you guys can see. So at the beginning, I showed you before that you can do it open like this. Okay. Then you follow by the letter, but you can also close it, depends on the next letter. So if you have 2 memes on top of each other, it looks nicer if you do it this way. See, it's a closed meme, very, very lightly open. And this is the closed meme. Then this is, again, this is an open meme in the middle. And this is a close meme in the middle if you want to do a close. Watch the movement of the pen. So we did this circle back again. Then this is at the end with the extension to the bottom. See, these are all the shapes for the meme that you could possibly do for Naskh. And some of it will be really similar to the one on Thuluth, by the way. So let's do again. Okay, another shape for the meme that looks really nice, if the one that is followed by yeah, for example. So you can do it two ways. You can do it this way. This is the ya. Then we go back here, and remember we did the meme that was kind of a drawing. Then this is the finish. Or you could do that long ya like this. Then you end up with the close meme. Like that. See both. It looks different. Now depends on the sentence when you write the sentence, because when you're doing a work, when you're doing a calligraphy work, especially if you're working on an art piece, technically you're practicing several times before you do the final work, and that's how a calligrapher can distinguish themselves from others. So you write it one way. Let's say I end up with ya and meme. So you try the first look, the short version, then you try the long version, see how it fits with all your work, with the rest of the words and the rest of the sentence. Then you can decide which one to use, because both of them following the rules, but then which one looks better on the final product. Okay, just a reminder. Okay, so that's the meme. Let's look at another letter here. Okay, we can do the ya, and I think by this we almost covered all the letters. So let's do the ya. Ya needs some work too. Get another paper here.
Need more paper? I can.
Yeah, I think I have some.
Okay, sure.
Okay, let me just pick. Sorry guys, let me pick more paper. I did not expect that I'm going to use all those. Okay, so we got more paper here. So we said we're going to do the ya letter. So we'll explain how the ya also looks. There's a short version and there's a long version, just like we said that the kaf. Ya also another letter that distinguishes the Naskh font. Okay, so we'll do a line again. And ya is one of the letters that goes below the line, by the way. Okay, so the first part of the ya goes above the line, so like this. Then the second part is exactly finishes on the line. Then the third part would actually go below the line and go up until you reach this part. And the measurements for this are 3 dots here and about 3 dots here, the highest, and here you can go up to 4. You could do also small. You could come here and do it a little bit smaller for 3. That's also acceptable. Now the extension ya, so you can extend this ya here and it would connect with the following word and looks nice. We ran out of ink here, so that's the one that we could extend. And also there's a ya that actually go reverse, which meaning you can actually go this way. So that's another ya. Right? Those are the different shapes of the ya. And now let me show you also, guys, just because we were talking about the extension of the letter, Sometimes you can do really nice shapes with the extensions and it helps you. For example, I'm just going to write the ayah kun fayakun and show you. So you can write it with the, I'm going to write it in a small letter here. So you can write it like this, separated. That's the kaf. And that's the noon. So that's kun is separated from fa yakun. So I'm just showing you two ways to write the Naskh calligraphy. So you see the word kun is by itself and fayakun is by itself. But let's see how we can connect it, make it look a little nicer. Use the extension. And if you guys remember, we said sometimes one of the letters, even though it's in the first word, we end up writing it at the end. So here, for example, I'm going to do the word kun. Start with the kaf. See, now look at the noon. I start with the beginning here, but I will show you to finish up the noon. It will be the last thing I do actually. Why? Because I want to know how long it's the next word fayakun is going to take, and this noon will actually go underneath fayakun and gives it a different shape. So it's fa. This is the wow. And this is the noon. And actually, it is recommended that you put the dots last thing, because, for example, if I put the dots here then and I wanted to extend the noon, it might come in the way. So I will wait on the dots to put it last thing so I can balance my work as well. See, you notice I didn't put any dots except for the noon. See, now look at this noon. Now I can use the opportunity to extend the noon all the way and make it feel like it's holding the next word. See, now I can come back and put the dots because I know exactly what I can put in now. Nice. This is the fun part. So you can combine two words and make them feel like they're connected using the extensions with the naskh. We saw how you can do it separately this way, and you can do it a little bit nicer this way.
Very nice.
Thank you. So that's with the alphabet. We can start writing a few words. I'm gonna give it a minute if you guys have any question so far.
Yeah, I also have the chat open, so in case if you have any question, you can write that question too. One of the comment that Muhammad Khamisa.
Yes.
He mentioned that Munther, we have worked together.
Yes.
This is the first time in my life I haven't seen you in laugh or smile in 30 minutes. Are you okay?
Really? I always laugh and joke. Thanks for that comment. Any other questions?
Yeah, can you write Inshallah? That word
Inshallah.
became very popular. I think Joe Biden, coming president, he also mentioned,
He
in
used
one
that
of
word?
he used that
That's
word.
interesting. Okay.
So can you write? And again, I can explain that it means if God wills or God willing,
with God willing.
and
so
it
yeah,
expresses a belief that nothing happens unless God wills,
absolutely.
and that this will supersede all human will. So today I'll request Munther to write the word Inshallah.
Inshallah. Inshallah, I write it. It means with God's willing, huh? All right. So now we're gonna write a sentence, and I'm gonna talk about the extensions that we're gonna use and how to make the product looks finished and nice. So now let's write the word first, then we'll put the accents using a smaller pen at this point. So let's write the word inshallah first. And Lafz al-Jalala Allah is actually very distinguished, and you will see it follows different rules in all the fonts. So the alif would be longer than the lam, ha. It is on all the fonts they distinguish the word the word Allah, Lafz al-Jalala, to be a little smaller. So it's actually catching the eye. It will be catchy to the eye. So let's see how it looks like. Okay, so I'll start with Alif, which is about 5 dots high. That's in. Then this is the Noon. This is in. And Sha'a. So now watch, the alif should go again on the same length here. So it is recommended actually that now that I want to do a full sentence and I finish the product, is actually to put another line, so give me some guidance and keeps my word induct between these two lines. So I'll put another line here. Okay.
Can you just rotate it so that we can see the screen? Maybe let it push this way.
Right, so, and if you guys notice, I always hold the Inkwell. You can put it aside, but it's a little farther to go here. It gives you more control, so you can dip the ink and go back faster to the words. And the point is not to go fast, but just to be more productive. So now I'm going to use this extension here. And this is the Hamza. Now this is the word Allah, and you're gonna notice how what I was talking about. This is the alif. Now the lam would be almost halfway. Go back like this. Let's put the Hamza here. Now, see, this looks like the word is finished as far as writing, but what makes Nasikh and Thuluth beautiful is to actually use the accents. So to use the accents, I'm going to do a smaller pen. Usually it's either half size or third of the size for the same pen that, compared to the pen that I actually used to write
And
with.
it has special lip to it, I noticed that. So what this is a little bit different from the reed column, right?
Yeah, this one actually, the wood that is used on the tip of this part is harder.
Okay.
And one of the calligraphers actually used one pen without cutting it, wrote the whole Quran with it. It's very, very strong.
Amazing.
And that's why I use it for the extensions, because sometimes you have to press harder on the pen and you don't want to break it. But yeah, these pens can hold a little more pressure than the usual one. See, this one is open from the middle here, but this one is actually a piece wood inserted into the bamboo.
Okay. And they are durable too.
And it's durable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
Very nice.
So actually, so I can show you the accents. I'm going to do it with a different color. And remember, we put those two lines here. So now I'm going to keep the accents in between those lines as well. So this is called Sukoon. This is the Fatha. And here, this is a dash as well. This is the Shadda. See those just to balance the words. So this is kind of the final product here. You guys can see it. With the accents, it look more balanced. You're filling the space for, if there's an open space, you can use the proper accents into it.
Very good, Munther.
Thank you.
That concludes our class. We will open this to remaining time to question and answer. We can stay a little bit longer if there is a question that we need to answer. That pretty much concludes the class. One question that I have from one of the participants is that my dal and ra and dal problem, can you show how to do that?
Oh, the dal and ra.
Maybe
Yes.
you can use a new page. We
Sure.
can keep it as a
Yes. Okay.
souvenir.
So the dal and ra in the nasakh, they're very distinguished, but in our handwriting, sometimes I see people exactly, they mix the dal and the ra. But if we follow the rules, they look different actually. So the dal is higher on the line, above the line. The neck for the dal is just like the ba, but it's about 3 dots. And there's another thing that distinguishes the dal. So you have to have a little curve from the top. That's the first part. And that's the second part here. See, you notice everything I'm writing on the dal is on a straight line. Nothing goes below the line. That's my first distinguish between the dal and the ra in the nasakh. See, the ra here starts like the ba, but then it goes below the line and it has a very, very sharp end. And the ra looks like the waw, which is, we said it's, the first part is actually the fa, and the second part is the ra. See, now this is the distinguish between individual dal, ra. In the word, in the middle of the word, this is how the dal looks like. And you can actually look at the Qur'an and see how the words are written. See, this is the dal in the middle of the word versus the ra looks like this. Again, it goes below the line and it has a sharp end. Hopefully that explains it.
Very nice. Any other question? We open this to all the audience.
Yes. And just to remind people, calligraphy is, if you like calligraphy, you have to be patient for it. Like we saw today, we spent about an hour, but we barely covered just few letters. But if you actually sit down and practice, when I teach the class, usually my students will spend about 6 weeks just to learn the individual letters. They come in 2 hours a week, every Saturday for 6 weeks. And we just learn how to write the individual letter, not even connecting to anything. So that would be the first part. I want to learn how I write each letter, the 28 letters, individually, properly, with the size. Then the next thing we move, the next level would be actually start putting those letters in connection with a next letter or 2 letters or 3. Then phase 3 will be actually writing a full word. Then phase 4, start the sentence. So you can see how long it takes to master calligraphy. So just be patient with it. And I'm sure if you like it, that's the best actually time. That's the best time to spend when you learn something, especially when you write the words of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. It makes you actually more into it, and it gives you satisfaction.
All right. Thank you all who joined the class today. I hope you keep practicing calligraphy and stay home, stay safe. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.